What up? How you doing? Welcome back, Keepers of Flame, new keepers. So today we're going to go through a little bit of unconventional processes. So how I like to kind of operate is when I receive new things into my environment, I like to test them first. I don't want to read the manual. I don't want to get a full description. I want to see how it feels and it resonates first. So typically, like when I buy something like this, like large investment, I think I have 9 of them total. Don't quote me. But what I like to do, and this is 417 hertz, 417, is experiment first with how it feels in my body, rather than listen to what everybody else is saying, do a crap ton of research on it. I like to feel it in my body, which is why it's taking so long. And I'm pretty sure that Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all those things that record sound are recording at is it 428? I think it's the 428 hertz instead of the 432. So you're not getting the same effect I am off of this. And there's different meridians on the body that you can put it on. You can place it on different areas of the body and feel the resonance come through. It's really cool. So the reason why I picked this is because I went and had a spa day, and they had a sound bed there. And it's a bed, it's a little wavy bed that you lay on, and it's got what looks like to be subwoofers underneath it. And I thought it was peculiar at first because she had 2 massage chairs in the same room. I'm like, you're really gonna have people trying to get a massage while they're listening to boom, boom, boom. And it doesn't boom, boom, boom. It just vibrates. It just vibrates. That's all it does. And it vibrates at certain hertz. And it's magical. It's so magical. But the reason why I picked 417 is because there's headphones that you wear, so you get the hertz in your ear. So the vibration's coming up through the bed, and you're getting the same vibration in your ear through music form. So what's happening is she has a phone type thing hooked up to the speaker that's coming through your headphones. And so while she was trying to select one, she's like, this does this periodically, where I want to select something. And the thing is telling me, no, you can't have that. You really want this one. And she said, I'm just going to listen to that today. And so she ended up on 417 hertz. The one that she originally wanted to select, she wasn't able to. So the other one that she selected, and I don't know which one it was. I don't know. It's just she scrolls through and finds the thing. I don't know. So, but that tinged on a few things like, oh, this is so blissful. And it came to me or it hit me like a ton of bricks or whatever. Oh, this is the natural state of being. This is, nobody's trying to come in and sabotage your existence. Feeling, sensation, if you will. No one's trying to hurt you here. This is a safe space. So when you can get into that contrast mode, when you know what good feels like, when you know how it resonates in your body, when you can get on that train, I completely and totally understand how the world is going to shift. I completely and totally understand. And I know very little about 417 hertz. And apparently this is, nobody's really talking about this one. It's a 128 hertz that takes away the pain. I can see how people would need that. Absolutely. But here's the thing. This is just a fork. I was on an entire bed with headphones on. Okay. I cannot express to you enough how much the future is feminine, because we can use our intuition, and we're allowed to do that with medicine. We're allowed to go inside our bodies when we're not inside a white coat camp. We're allowed to go inside and say, okay, this is healing. This actually helps. This does the job. How do we incorporate this? Okay. So that's number one when it comes to like stuff like this. If it doesn't feel right, if something's off, don't do it. Don't freaking do it. That's your intuition. That is your powerhouse. That is how you are going to walk into the world and look it dead in the eye and say, I am indestructible. Don't fuck with me. You're wasting your time. I can see why they wanted to suppress that now. Anyway, just in case it does help you, because it's fantastic. I wish I could just reach through and be like, here you go, babe. Right there. Oh, see. Okay, so I talked to another lady. She does different healings too. And she uses, you know how they're like talking about 5G? They're talking about 5G. I don't know if this is going to work. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm going to keep doing it though. So, I don't know, put some headphones on. I don't know. Maybe don't put it on. Whatever you feel drawn to do. So, screw it! But she has a device that sends out AO. Is it AO or is it AIO? I'll have to look it up. But she is sending out frequency, energy, vibration to people's phones. So when they're walking around, they're receiving these frequency, energy, vibrations through their phone, and their phone is actually helping them instead of hurting them. I was like, that's really cool. And she's like, for $150 a month, you can have the same thing. And I'm like, I'm gonna wait for some more scientific evidence on that. I'm gonna wait. We're gonna hold it up. See how it goes. Let it sit for a while. It'll marinate. There you go. Right on the eye hole. Okay. There we go. So all these different healing modalities are coming online, and it's beautiful. So I'm gonna keep doing this because okay, so typically now we'll get into the blood and guts of it, if you will. Supposedly this is connecting you to the ancients. This is I think it's root. Where did the thing go? Nope, this is solar plexus. So this is connecting you to the ancestors. Like the ancient ancestors. The oldie olds. The sacreds. Ones who aren't so disconnected from reality. So reality is what's in your body. That's how you dictate the world around you, is what's in your body. And where you're putting body really matters. So like the environment you put your body in really matters. It really, really, really matters. Okay. If you're living in a clean room versus a dirty room. Family heirlooms from people you can't fucking stand. Get them out. Sell them on eBay. Who the fuck cares? It's carrying energy that's constantly affecting your mind, and that's where all disease starts. Okay. This is why I'm so leery of Greek people, because they had an epidemic on their hands and they knew what was up, and they effed it anyway. So that's leery. I'm scared. I think that's the origination of, what do you call that? Patriarchy. I think that's where it originated, is where it took birth, or at least great mother gave birth to one of the children of patriarchy there, and it's a major clue into how to stop this shit. And the problem is we're not gonna get to it if we don't have integral people in there reading the textbooks. So people that are deluded by culture wars or God worship, what have you. This is why I get why science is like, no God, no gods in science, because it dilutes the brain. It corrupts it to its core, and it systematically breaks down the functions in the body, so that way you're operating off a basis of trauma. So how you can tell if you are operating off a base of trauma is the environment, the things that you create in your environment. So if something's traumatic and you don't like it, you get it out of your environment. If something's traumatic and you're like, oh, this is like how I was raised, okay, and you don't call it out for what it is, you are still indoctrinated. You are still there. You are still in the trauma, okay? And that's the unfortunate part, is that's the biggest tracer for that, the biggest identifier for that is religious God, deity worship. Anything authoritative outside of yourself that asks you to betray yourself, betray your fellow man, betray nature. Anything that asks you to do that is not conducive to a healthy, fulfilled lifestyle. Okay. So I don't like using the E word, because I don't think that exists. I think that man has created some horrific thought patterns, and those thought patterns became a trauma matrix that we are now trapped and bound in, and that we have to like break the F out of. And that means leaving the regales and the binding spells behind, because when you are bound to any one narrative of any sort that doesn't allow you to adjust yourself, your surroundings, your habits, your patterns of behavior, that's restricting any sort of, we can't use evolution because that's now been debunked. That's restricting your spiritual expansion, which is the opposite to love. Okay, I'm not kidding you, dude. Get into this. Get into it. Here, I'll give you some more. Just a gentle low hum. Oh my god, dude. Seriously, legit. So many like insights, downloads, whatever else being led, and I'm hoping this is gonna help like the little tablet algorithm dude in there. What up, buddy? Let's be friends and hope heal rather than harm. La la la. 1333. Heal. Okay. So, not that saying like God is bad or goddess is bad, but you have to remember those entities that you are death gripping are right here. They're right here. They're right inside your mind. So the pineal gland supposedly glows. We're gonna have to trust on that one. I don't like doing that personally, but here we are. But what very few people fail to understand is there is a holding space around the pineal gland, which is the goddess. It's the feminine. It's the receiving, the dark abyss, holding the glow of light, amplifying it, making it known. So anything you perceive outside of you is already on the inside of you. And the moment you give your power away to the outside source is the moment you self-deplete. Nothing else. The vibration's getting through. Da 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 da. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Because I put it up, it stops almost vibrating, but then I take it away and it vibrates again. Interesting. See? Here we go. This is science, by the way. This is science. All that shit in test tubes is a bunch of manipulation tactics for money. It is really a multi-level marketing scheme, because you've got the same companies that create the cure are out there poisoning your food, water, and air. So it's it's the most diabolic multi-level marketing scheme probably ever to exist. Yeah, yippee skippy. Boom shakalaka. Take deep breaths, relax, let it in. Sorry, I'm pushing on it because I'm like, I want it to get through. Because every time I take it away, I can feel the vibration come back, which is interesting. Maybe you're sending me vibrations. Interesting. Fascinating. Because if it goes one way, it has to come back the other. Okay, science. So instead of listening to somebody else tell you, feel it first. If nothing else, you're going to get a more in-depth view of how you actually see life versus how someone else does. And that gift is, maybe that's my Sagittarius stellium speaking, but that gift is invaluable, at least to me, learning all different perspectives. Because you get to take that perspective, bring it in, ask it how it feels in the body, and then go from there. What you do with it is up to you, because it's a multi-level fractaled ecosystem. I find the fly in the serum, put it in the pedestal and mortar, make medicine, and feed it back to you. I suspect there's a lot of feminine energies out there that can do the same. Notice I said feminine energies. How's that femsember going? Do 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 do. If you want me to make a video of just me doing this and then just using my intuition on how to do this, freaking comment below. I'll do it. I'll do it. I think everybody should have access to this free. I don't think anybody should have to pay to live a healthy life when they're literally paying with their tax dollars to have themselves poisoned systematically. Routinely, systematically, routinely, all that other planned out bullshit. So, yeah, I think health is something that should be free for all. It doesn't need to be heavily. So yeah, all of a sudden I've got a hair in my face. Probably because the air just kicked on. Okay, there we go. So it should not a good word. It needs to be. It is our divine right as human beings to live happy and healthy lives without other people impeding on that. It is our divine right, and we just have to get into the divine and take back power. How do you like that? Sound manipulation. Get your authority back for yourself. Muhahaha. Or however that's supposed to go. I hope this is healing you as much as it is me. I hope it's paving your way back and forwards at the same time. Because this is a multi-level multi-dimensional fractal ecosystem. So if you go, the further you go back, the further you go forward. Boom, boom, boom. So let's talk about the pain of separation. So when you're going through that, when you're having to separate from people, and I know it's the holidays, you're like, I can't do this now. I can't do this now. It's the holidays. Ooh, child, listen to me. If you put something off to painfully make it through a particular holiday, there's going to be extra resentment that's going to pile up for that. I spent a few liberating holidays with people around me that actually cared, and with the people that I cared about. I'm blessed to have that. I understand that. I know that. Absolutely. And there have been times where those people weren't available. And it's really, for me anyway, it was nice. It was nice. I took care of myself. I had a self-care day. I relaxed. I was like, oh my God, I'm not in charge of Jack Dilly Squad except for myself today. This is miraculous. So you have to like shift that perspective. Like say, all right, the whole world is shut down right now. The whole world basically has stopped because so many people are blah, 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 blah. But you know what that means? Peaceful walk in the park. You know what that means? Quiet, still, blissful snuggles with your beloved. I've snuggled with plants before. What? You can curl up with a good book. You know, treat yourself to a little creature of some sort that's fluffy or slithery. Even if it's just a stuffed animal. I know a little Indian girl that she loves animal fur. She doesn't like stuffed animals, just the animal fur. And for those of you who find that morbid, that's unfortunate. Because that was a soul. That was a creature of the world. And holding it sacred and loving it is not wrong. We are weird creatures. I will say that. Weird creatures. That's okay. That means we have control over our fate and our destiny. That's an interesting one. Just my extra air filter. Kick it in, kick it on. I don't have any candles or incense running right now though, which is weird. I'm torn between talking and being quiet so you can get the heals. So maybe, yeah, just comment below if you want me to do a whole video of just, I can put like a flower or something and like flip the camera around. Or at least I used to be able to. Not right now. Oh, that's rude. You can't do it in the middle of a, alright, whatever. I have, an array of different plants. I'll just use my intuition. Or I could put up a card, a picture of some sort. Whatever. I'll let the art freak flag fly. the other thing too is you gotta learn how to let that freak flag fly. The world needs it right now. It's one of the modalities of healing is art. Yeah. Okay, so for those of you who didn't get that, because I'm feeling like you didn't get it. For those of you who didn't get it, here we go. You ready? There we go. If you are an artist, you are a healer. Okay, so for those that don't quite compute that, so when you're looking at a picture, it's either helping you or healing you. It's either helping or healing. Okay, so start looking through the eyes of help heal. Okay, stop with the good and evil, because that forces you to like take yourself out of yourself and try to attack another person. That's stupid. That's a waste of life force energy. So what you do is call it back and be like, is this helping me or is this healing me? So move away from the harm and go towards the healing, right? So when you present something artistic to the world, you are presenting the world with your form of healing. Okay, and if you see the world through that lens of harming or healing, your entire paradigm will shift. It will shift, absolutely. And the cyclic pattern is harm, heal, harm, heal, harm, heal. Well, if we can achieve homeostasis, we won't need to be in that modality anymore. Unfortunately, the majority of what we reside in on a daily basis is trauma, and it's trauma-based. So, and the things that you have been told are helping and healing you are just addictions to cortisol, the stress hormone that causes disease. And unfortunately, the monotheists didn't come up with it. The Greeks did. So, if you can't trace it back to its source, it's going to be difficult to vet out of the society. So what you don't, if you look at the Greek pantheon, even just the Greek goddesses, and you read their actual stories, many of them were raped, which would point to the birth of patriarchy, wouldn't you think? Okay, now we don't have many Hittites around to conclude anything really about that, although they did just uncover a historical Hittite site, an entire city, in fact. So I'm pretty sure we're going to have some really deep insights as to how shitty the Greeks were. So, so you have to understand that, like, even this has got trauma embedded in it. Oh, you can't really say it, but astrology. While it is a different language, it does help. All that good stuff. The feminine aspects of it are still rooted in monetary exchange. Venus, that's what she rules, monetary exchange, and all relationships. We're putting that on the feminine. Think about that for a second and how that's playing out in society. And then you've got Virgo, the virgin, which we seem to think virgin means somebody who hasn't had sex. No, the virgin is somebody who's independent and not coupled with a man, but we've made it into something else entirely. And in Chinese zodiac, the Virgo would be considered the dragon. So it's an independent woman that is not tied to a man in any way or dependent upon a man in any way, shape, or form. And then there's Lady Justice, represented by Libra. And that's why we love a great find out season. And that's, that's part of the reason why females are so demonized, is because the find out season is pretty brutal, because the indoctrination into the patriarchy is a brutal system. And it's not for men, it's just the illusion that it is for men. It's not. It's for control. It has no other purpose other than to manipulate, control, basically be a parasitic leech off society as a whole. You're using the Stockholm syndrome. I think that's what they call it, when the enslaved fall in love with their shackles. That's called Stockholm syndrome. It's what the Nazis used on the Jews to. There wasn't enough Nazi soldiers to go around to head up the camps, so they would bribe the Jewish camps with food. Whoever could keep everybody in line got more food. Whoever could keep the best control and keep everybody running and safe in the camp was rewarded with more food. So the very people that were being enslaved were helping keep the slaves. I think they use that paradigm in Django too. They use the same demonstration. So you just have to remember that might be something you need to vet out of your system too this holiday season, this reflective season. For some of us, it's just time for quiet and peace and sovereignty and asking how we can do better next year, the areas we need to improve on, celebrating our strengths where we came through, all the things that we've accomplished, inner or outer work, and a lot